Okay, so in the last video, we combined our upper and our lining together. So what you should have at this point is this. You have the lining on the inside, here, your heel pocket here in the back, and then you have your upper here with your turn seam here in the back, and you have either rubber cemented or double stick taped the two together so they're not coming apart while you're stitching. Okay, so I'm going to start here. You want to be stitching pretty close to the edge of your pattern. So I'm going to put the needle down here and put my foot down over here. I'm actually going to change the angle so you can see a little bit better from the other side. Okay, I've moved here so you can have a little bit better of an angle. Okay, so I'm going to stay close to the edge here. I'm going to give myself a little more room on my stitch length. Okay, and as you're moving, you may have to press down your top line. If you get some wrinkles in there, but all right, so now at this point, kind of got that worked out. So I'm staying pretty close to the edge. Okay, you have to work your pattern around a little bit depending if you're using a flatbed or a post. All right, so you're gonna just keep on working your way. All right, so I had to replace my bobbin thread underneath, but now we're just stitching again around the top line. And I'm going to move this a little closer so you can see even better, give you a better idea. Here, so when I'm stitching, just take your time. It's not a race. Stay close to the edge. You can be too close to the edge and risk kind of cutting the edge of the leather, and you don't want to do that, but here we go. As I kind of approach my starting point, you're going to have some little threads here. You can go ahead and clip those. I'm going to clip that from the outside and from the inside, and then when I stitch, I'm going to come past this point where I started, and I'm going to come past at least 3 or 4 stitches so that I can lock it in. Okay, cool. And you can swing it around. This, again, this machine does not have a like a back stitch, so I'm gonna have to swing it around and do a few manual stitches here, 1 or 2 manual stitches. I'm gonna lift that up a little bit and move this over. That's fine. I'll do 1 more manual stitch here. Okay, great. So that's already lock stitched in. I'll go ahead and cut that. All right, so here, that everything is stitched. You want to go ahead and cut this. And at this point, since I had to stop here and reload my bobbin thread, any of these little threads here on the inside, you want to flip this and go ahead and get rid of any of these little extra threads that might be in the way. Kind of clean everything up. Okay. Here and here. All right. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is go ahead and get rid of this lining area. So everything above the line that we've actually stitched, this is just our trimming allowance. So we're going to trim this off all the way around the pattern. The easiest way that I would advise you to do it is with scissors at this point. You can do it with an X-Acto, but it can be tricky. Some people like to leave this on. However, I think it's just easier to get rid of the whole thing. And you can see here, taking my time and trimming around the edge. So I think this would be a good way for you to do it, especially the first time around. If you do end up using a blade or an X-Acto, it's really easy to cut that top of the folded edge that you made. So this will give you a little bit more control if you're doing it with shears. Okay. And we're almost there, back where we started. Trimming the top line off, and now you should be trimmed down, have gotten all of that allowance off, and have yourself a nice clean edge all the way around your pattern. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to move on to lasting. And we're going to look at the techniques on how to do that.